just waiting for Councilman McLean to return, and we'll get going.
Cameron, I didn't see it on the agenda, but I think it's still appropriate we do the pledge of allegiance.
Very good.
That means Bob will do it.
Be happy. I'd do it if I was in the room all by myself.
You would. We like to do that.
All right, very good. We are returning from closed session into our open session, and before we proceed, I'd like to ask Councilmember Keller to lead us in the flag salute.
Thank you. Please stand. Join me in recognizing our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to provide an announcement from our closed session outlining some of the city's response to the recent activities and declarations made by the federal government and others. I mean, it goes without saying that we are in unprecedented times, not only here in Santa Clarita, but in our nation as well. And while the circumstances seem to be changing almost hourly, and there still is significant uncertainty, one thing that I think all the council would agree that is not uncertain is how Santa Clarita will respond to the latest challenge. Our community is no stranger to crises, whether it be earthquakes, fires, or the unspeakable tragedy at Saugus High School. But in each case, and as with what we'll see here, as with what we face today, Santa Clarita is going to approach our response in a measured way, with the public health and safety as our top priority. And that is why the council will declare a state of emergency that will allow the city to access federal funds that have recently been made available by the President's actions. We continue to consult with our local partners, including the County of Los Angeles, our school districts, our universities, the senior center, and our business community, and certainly with our local health experts at Henry Mayo. And we continue to work closely with our first responders, including our local LA County Sheriff's Department, Fire Department, and Highway Patrol. As of tomorrow, Saturday, March 14th, the City of Santa Clarita will suspend all non-essential city services, close city facilities, and suspend all city programming for 14 days. City events have been canceled or postponed through the end of April. We realize that there will be a period of significant disruption to our everyday lives, and in addition, the city's pause on services, as I think everyone knows, our local schools have announced closure as well. Henry Mayo Hospital has also reported the first positive coronavirus test here in Santa Clarita. So what constitutes essential services? Certainly, first and foremost, law enforcement. There will be no change to our law enforcement staffing or services throughout Santa Clarita. Our city management will remain active, including our Santa Clarita Transit, so there will be no impact to our public transportation. City communications will remain in place. Our street crews, graffiti removal, parks crews, urban forestry, our traffic and transportation, and our building and safety. All other city services are suspended and facilities will be closed, including the public library, the main theater, community centers, and City Hall. We are also suspending all city youth and adult sports programming. More specifically, the following events have been canceled. The Sister Cities Hike scheduled for this Sunday. The census block parties on Main Street for at least March and April. The Youth Arts Showcase scheduled for March 21st. The Defy and SCV Youth Summit scheduled for March 27 and April 15th. The Free to Be Me Music Festival scheduled on March 29th is being postponed. The Extravaganza, the Extravaganza to be clear, scheduled for April 11th has been canceled. And the Santa Clarita Cowboy Festival scheduled for April 18th and 19th has also been canceled, along with the city's annual Earth Arbor Day Festival on April 25th. We realize that this impacts a number of residents who enjoy and anticipate these events and programs and wait for them every year, and we certainly did not make this decision lightly. But the priority right now must be doing what we can as a community to slow the spread of the COVID-19 virus. You can still access many city services online, including our library services, the online permit center, and the resident service center. The city has activated our emergency website, which will be updated around the clock with information, resources, and news. And that website is santaclaritaemergency.com. I think it's also important that we encourage all of our local employers and business owners to consider planning for and allowing for their employees to work from home when available because of the unanticipated closure of the schools. That is going to cause a disruption for a number of families, and I know we are pursuing that here at City Hall for our staff and encourage other businesses to do the same. And I think it's also important that we say a few words about what we have seen and been reported at our local grocery stores, local Costco's and Walmart's, and for lack of a better term, the hoarding of certain items that we have seen. We do certainly encourage people to remain calm, the best of your ability, and to understand that while this is certainly something that is new, consider your neighbors. There are seniors in our community who cannot get out. There are people who have some of our lower income residents who don't have the ability to go and fight the lines and have access, and they need the same services and materials as everybody else. So please, as we continue into this phase, take that into consideration before you visit one of our local stores. And also keep in mind the employees of those stores. Many of them are your neighbor, and they're doing the best they can as well to provide the services that you are asking for. And so with that, we need to move forward then with taking up the emergency declaration. Is that correct?
Yes, this is the special meeting you're concluding, so if you could adjourn the special meeting and call the emergency meeting to order.
Very good. Is it?
One more.
Yes.
Cancellation of this council.
Correct. And thank you. One other key item is that in following advice of council, as well as seeing what other municipalities, including the County of Los Angeles, the regularly scheduled City Council meeting of March 24th has been canceled, and we look to reconvene on April 14th, which would be the next regularly scheduled council meeting. I do not believe we need a vote on any of these items, so with that I will entertain a motion to adjourn this special session. Second. Thank you. We do have a motion and a second. We will stand adjourned on the special item. Now we will take up the second item, is correct, so I'm going to call to order again our special emergency City Council meeting. Can we please call the roll?
Councilmember McLean. Here. Councilmember West.
Here.
Mayor Smythe.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Miranda.
Here.
Councilmember Keller.
Here.
Thank you.
Very good. Is there any request to speak on this item? All right, then I'll turn it over to our city attorney or city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. Over the past few weeks, the coronavirus COVID-19 has grown into a global pandemic, leading to severe illness and death and cases being reported in more than 100 countries and regions. The first case of the virus was reported on December 31 of 2019 in Wuhan, China, and the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on January 30th, 2020. On February 26th, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed the first case of local person-to-person transmission of COVID-19 in the United States, raising the additional concern of community transmission in the general public. As such, the County of Los Angeles declared a local emergency on March 4th to ensure it has the authority to take the necessary measures to protect the public's health and safety. The City of Santa Clarita fell under that initial county declaration. 2 days ago, the World Health Organization characterized COVID-19 as a pandemic, with the number of global cases reported as over 137,000, with more than 5,000 deaths. Earlier today, President Donald Trump declared a national emergency to respond to COVID-19. Also today, as you may be aware, Henry Mount Newhall Hospital confirmed the first case of COVID-19 in the Santa Clarita Valley. As the city, the ability to mobilize resources, coordinate an interagency response, use mutual aid, and seek reimbursement from the state and federal governments will be critical for a successful response by the city. As such, it is the staff's recommendation that the City Council of the City of Santa Clarita hereby proclaim a local emergency here in Santa Clarita. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Is there any question from the council? No? All right, seeing none, I believe we need to have a motion to adopt.
Move the recommended action.
Second.
Very good. We've got Councilmember Keller on the motion, Councilmember McLean on the second. Let's go ahead and call the roll on this item.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Councilmember West.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Miranda.
Yes.
Councilmember Keller.
Yes.
Mayor Smythe.
Aye. And very good. Before we finally adjourn, I think I can speak for the council to commend our city staff for their work on this. It's been a very high moving. You consider where we were on Tuesday to where we are now, less than 72 hours later. And again, we know that our staff have families here. They are impacted. They have their own kids that are impacted, and yet they show up to City Hall every day, show up to their job to work on behalf of this community. And please, I think I speak for the council where we know and appreciate all of their efforts and know the impact that our employees face as well. So I want to offer our thanks on behalf of the council. And so unless there are any other comments, certainly we may end up coming back because of the fluidity of this situation, but otherwise we'll recess until April 14th. Yes, Councilor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say I want to thank staff and the council. We all are very concerned about our community, but we do know that this is a strong community. We always work together. We help each other. And city is here and readily able to get information to you should you need it for direction of how to keep your life maintained.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to remember that the council is still, even though we are not at City Hall meetings, we are still working around the clock and are accessible to any of the residents with questions or concerns. We are certainly still here to provide whatever help we can. Yes.
Now, I just wanted to mention this community comes together like no other community I have been around or know about. And I would just ask, just be respectful of your neighbor, and for people who just need like one can of soup and maybe some soda pop, and don't create such havoc that a person just needing to get regular supplies can't get them. And the hoarding is just something we are not about. And I would sincerely hope that we can stop that from happening and just take care of each other rather than trying to empty shelves in our supermarkets. It's not okay for our seniors who need to be able to get supplies, and also for those who don't have resources to buy tons and tons of things. You just need to have those things on the shelves and available. So I just ask us all, please, let's come together and do what we do best here in Santa Clarita and respect one another. Thank you.
Very well said. And with that, we're adjourned.